Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Kensington podcast, Coffee with the Kensington. My name is Brenda Moynihan, and I'm the Director of Marketing and Outreach at the Kensington Assisted Living Residence. I'm your host, and the podcast addresses all things related to seniors, adult caregivers, and their families. And today's topic is apropos for February and Valentine's. It's all about chocolate, wine, and seniors. And my guest today is Bridget Zimmer. Bridget is a licensed holistic nutritionist, very interesting. And Bridget, just to give you some background information on Bridget, she actually has a BS in nutrition and wellness. She's a certified health coach, a certified holistic nutritionist, and certified as a PIO instructor. Welcome, Bridget.
Well, thank you, and thank you for having me.
Sure. So let's get right into it. I'm sure our listeners want to know, everybody hears about chocolate and it's so good for you and wine. I really want to get into the weeds a little bit more, and let's talk about what are those benefits that chocolate has? Why should we have chocolate?
Okay, well, chocolate is different from what you see in the supermarket, where you see like Dove and Hershey's and stuff like that. Chocolate derives from the cocoa bean, and it's actually one of the most delicious of the heart tonics. And there was a study a while back that people who have consumed cocoa beverages have reduced incidence of hypertension, reduced risk of death due to heart disease. And the reason why is that it has antioxidants and flavonoids and magnesium that work together to have cardiovascular benefits.
Okay.
So it's actually what's in the bean that makes it good for you.
Now, you mentioned something, and I think it's important, the Hershey's Kisses, all those delicious chocolate bars that people want to have, the 1 pound bar. So we're not talking about that, right?
No, it's actually the sugar and the milk can dilute the benefits. So when you're looking to have a little sweet or something to actually get the benefits out of the chocolate and still enjoy it, the higher the cacao number, the better the effects. So there was a study where they took the 100% cacao, like your cacao nibs and your cocoa powder that you can put into a teas or anything like that. Those are what you have the heart benefits and all those other good things for you. The study showed that the Hershey bar and anything that was added with milk and sugar has 0% increasing heart benefits.
So even though they're yummy and they satisfy that little craving, when you're talking, and that's what we're talking about today, benefits for adults and seniors, it's really, you're talking about more of the dark chocolate, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can see, like, if you go to the supermarket, or even if you shop online also, the 70% cacao or higher is really good. I also like to recommend cocoa nibs to my clients because they can put that in their yogurt or their shakes or anything like that, and they're still getting the benefits and they get that little bit of a sweetness.
So Bridget, where do you get the cocoa nibs? And what do they look like?
They look like like chocolate sprinkles.
Yep.
So the nibs look like little chunks like that, like little disformed sprinkles.
Okay. And where do you get those?
I get them. There's like a market online. You can probably get them on Amazon. You can get them in any health food store. Okay. I store it at Stop and Shop in there. You know how like Stop and Shop now has a natural section. Mm-hmm. They'll have the dark chocolate and the nibs over in that section also. Okay. So it depends on where you live.
And, you had mentioned it's one of the better heart tonics. I think that's the term you used, because one of the things it has are the antioxidants, which when we think about, we're still in the world of COVID, you want to do everything you possibly can to keep your immune system at a great level. And antioxidants are one of the things that you want to do to keep yourself as healthy as possible, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So now we talked a little bit about the chocolate. Let's go with the red wine. And why, what are the benefits? We're talking about seniors and having that 1 glass of red wine a day. What are the benefits of red wine?
aside from obviously being wind down and relaxing, no pun intended, but also red wine has the flavonols, and it's called resveratrol. That is what helps prevent the damage to blood vessels. It reduces the low density lipoprotein, the bad LDLs for your cholesterol,
Okay.
and it increases the bad. So it increases the good of your cholesterol. So it lowers the risk of heart disease, and it's also right there with chocolate. It's the antioxidants that build your immune system and builds up your heart muscles.
Now, we're talking about red wine. Is white wine as beneficial?
Not really, because the way the red wine is fermented, it uses the grape seed lining, and they ferment it together. White wine is not fermented the same way. They take the what's that called?
The grape
The skin off. You know, when we de-skin it for children, it's the skin that has the resveratrol in it, and that carries all the antioxidants.
Okay, so even though you may, because I like white wine, I don't really care for red wine. It may taste good, just like the milk chocolate, but when we're talking about health benefits, it's not as beneficial as red wine.
Exactly. Right? I love white wine. I can drink white wine all through the summer, but every so often you might need a glass of wine.
And
it's also warming, and it does calm you down. But go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
So
what
the only other thing I do want to say, and this pertains to everybody, if you don't drink alcohol to begin with, I'm totally not suggesting to start.
Okay. So we're not sitting here saying to everybody, go out and buy bottles and bottles of wine. We're just talking in general, being that it's February and Valentine's, and we're talking about things that most people enjoy. And we really want to get the word across that it actually is beneficial. There are health benefits to chocolate and dark chocolate and red wine. And when we talk about the red wine, what are some things that seniors should be careful of?
Well, like I said, if you don't drink, don't start. Always consult your physician first. Also, certain medications will interact with alcohol, so you want to make sure you look at that. I recently had dental work done, so one of the medications says do not drink at all. But when I took a survey, nobody really checks the side effects of their medications. So that is definitely a big thing that I like to portray and tell everybody to always check. And if you don't know, ask the pharmacist or consult a physician.
I like what you said. If you are an older adult and you're listening to this podcast, it's really important to check with your doctor because, as Bridget said, you may be taking medications that may interfere with taking alcohol, and instead of getting that wonderful benefit, you're actually doing a disservice to your body, right?
Right.
And let's talk about both the chocolate and the wine. How much? How much should be the health benefit?
So let's talk about, for our audience, if you're 65 or older, say 1 glass of wine, which usually consists of like 5 ounces a day. You don't really want to go over that because it will tamper your judgment. Also, the survey that I checked out a few weeks ago, it says 65 and above men who generally weigh a little bit more can have 2 glasses, but no more than that. So, and for chocolate, you can have about 1 ounce a day. So like a little square. Most times you'll see like the big cacao bars, and Lindy's is a good choice. I like their company. And there was another one, but it's all in the same section because they're pure and they don't process it. And it's the minimal amount of sugar in it. You can have 1 square a day, which is good, but you don't have to have it every day. But that is good. So I would say like about 1 ounce, which is 1 square, and 1 glass, which is 5 ounces a day.
So that's a recommended for the health benefits. And, what about if you think of it this way? If you're winding down the end of the evening, maybe 7, 8 o'clock at night, that could be a little treat. That little square of dark chocolate and maybe that little glass of wine, little treat that you feel like you're giving yourself a little treat, but at the same time, it's actually a health benefit.
Exactly. And then you don't really need anything else after that because you're calm. The thing about having chocolate, it sends off these endorphins, which gives you good feelings. So even just a little bite, and I tell most of my clients the same thing, if they want to have that piece of cake or that piece of chocolate, you really just need 2 bites.
Right.
And
just to get that taste.
Just to get that taste. And it's, you're telling yourself I had a tough day, or I had a good day, and this is making me feel good. And it sends off endorphins and makes you feel happy.
Mm-hmm. And you know what I really love? And tell me if this is a good thing. You get fresh strawberries and you dip them in that dark chocolate. So you're getting the benefit of the fruit and the dark chocolate, but I think you have to be cognizant of, you can't have a dozen, right?
Yes. So the other thing with strawberries too, strawberries are very high in antioxidants, and it's really good for you. And you're building, and it has vitamin C also, which no one really checks out the strawberries for vitamin C, but it builds your immune system. It has those antioxidants that build your system up even more. And when you're dipping it in chocolate, like say you're doing it yourself, you're in chocolate, you can have 2 to 3 because you're not getting a whole ounce on one strawberry. So
and anybody could do that themselves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have kids here. We've been melting chocolate the whole COVID.
COVID chocolate. So, okay. So everybody, we hear the wonderful benefits, antioxidants, flavonoids to decrease damage to the blood vessels. Check with your doctor that 1 ounce of dark chocolate, that little square, 1 glass of red wine. As we wrap up, Bridget, why don't you give the listeners some information how to contact you if they want to talk further about their diets, get some more information? How can they reach you?
Oh, I can give you my cell phone number. Okay. I have it with me always. My name is Bridget Zimmer, Zimmer. My phone number is area code 516-972-0585. And should I give my email?
Sure, why not?
My email is simple. It's Bridget, BRIDGETT, Z as in zebra, fit, FIT @gmail.com.
Great. Great. Thanks, everybody. And I hope you gathered some wonderful information. Have a great day. Happy Valentine's Day. And we'll see you next month at Coffee with the Kensington. And for those folks who'd like some information about the Kensington, please feel free to contact us at 914-390-0080 or go to our website at www.thekensingtonwhiteplains.com. Take care.